What's up, brick builders? Today's build is Roadwork Crew. This is set number 42060. Came out in 2016. Age group 8+. Number of parts 365. Price per piece 5p. Cost back in 2016 was £19.99. Current value, if you have a mint seal box, good condition, you're looking at £28. Not a massive investment. Used 14 to 18. Pretty good price for used. Hello folks, Sean from BRIT'N Bricks. How you doing? Thank you so much for coming by and checking out yet another video. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Also drop a comment as well. I love comments. Absolutely love comments. I'll get back to you. No problem. And also, while you're at it, hit that subscribe because that's free and it lets you know when another video is coming out, and that will be hopefully tomorrow. Anyway, Technic build with some orange pieces. I do love working with the orange. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I love that color. Let's check out the build. Here we go. Already dropping stuff on the floor. Let it go. Dear, dear. Right. So yeah, we got. Oh, it's a 40th anniversary as well. It's got a 40th anniversary. Huh. I could see that. It's very cool, that. Yeah, I love the orange. There's a lot of light grey in here as well. Classic kind of colours you would get with roadworks or Coast Guard or anything like that. Let's get the instructions up for you. And that's what we're looking at. We've got a little truck and we've got a little digger, a mini digger. So bag 1 would be the truck, mini digger would be in bag 2. We're going to start off with the truck, so we want dark bluish grey L shape, large one. We're going to have it so that this is the headboard, this is the foot of the bed, or this is the foot of the bed, this is the bed, base of the bed. We got a knuckle, light grey knuckle. So this with a red axle, 2 studs long, and that's going to be primed in the top axle hole there, like that. It's going to be primed, and then it's going to go over the L shape and then just push the axle in place like that, and it will have some sort of movement. So this could be the tipping part of the truck. If it tips, I'm not sure. I'm going to pop that down there. We want a 5-axle yellow. Nice. Now, as I did say in a couple of videos, that the axles, even axles are like black, and the odd numbers are grey. But in this case, it's an odd number and it's in yellow. So it's not written. It's not written. Just so, in case anybody was like, yeah, I thought that was supposed to be an odd number. Right, so we want periscope, grey periscope. Pop that in there. Then we're going to put this small bush in down there, and then we're going to put that through the bottom axle hole. Now you've got to line up bottom axle plus the bar plus the axle, and then we're going to put another bushing on top of that, small bushing on top of that, and then we're going to put so that isn't going to tip at all, so it's not part of the tipping device. Actually, this is going to be the rear bumper. Okay, we need another periscope. So you got the holes facing you, they're not up, they're facing you, because we're going to be putting trans red studs are going to go in there, and those are going to be your rear lights. Next, we've got 13 long bar. So we want 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we go drop 2 pins, long pins, going to go in short ways. We've seen this quite a few times now in Technic builds. Starting off with a pin in the end, and then a space, and then a pin. We're going to drop this beam into... It's going to go blue pin in the very top end there, all the way across, and then we're going to just like pin this like a pin cushion. So we're going to do 1 hole, then we're going to drop, and then we're going to drop, and all these pins are going in short end first. Then we're going to do a hole, then we're going to drop, then we're going to do a hole, then we're going to drop, and then we're going to do something different. We're going to go long ways in. So we're going to do a hole, and then we're going to drop, but we're going to go long ways in. So that pin is half and half. And then on the other side here, we've got a black pin going in between those two. And then we're going to put a 11 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's just going to attach to... Oh, hello. We got a T-bar as well. T-bar. Right. T-bar. So the T-bar is going to go onto these 2 blue pins here. Like that. Leaving that gap. There's a whole gap between the T-bar and this L shape. Next, we're going to drop the 11 hole bar. Like that. Now we've extended it. We've got quite a length of vehicle here for this particular, for this price, which is not too bad actually. Right, we want a 2-hole 1-axle connector. We're going to have the axle towards the back facing up, and then we're going to close this off with another 13 bar. So we go line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. Could be a bit tricky. This one's going to, together quite well actually. There we go. And then we're probably going to put another pin here so that we can get another 2-hole axle connector. Yep. So I'm going to put a pin, and then we're going to put an axle in like that. And then we're going to put the 2-hole axle connector on the end. Next we got a black pin. It's going to go into this T shape here, and then we're putting a grey sleeve over the top of that. That's a dark bluish grey sleeve. There it is. Like that. And then we've got the 5 long brown axle with a stopper. Now that's a brush. 5 long brown axle. There we go. It's 2 of these. So we also want the crank handle. Black crank handle. I'm seeing a lot of track pieces here. I want the crank handle. Has it been buried? I'll move that over there. There it is. So it kind of looks like an old car crank handle. You stick it on the front there and you just wind it. Yeah, that's what it is to me. And this is going to go into this hole here. So this axle is going to go in between these 2 blue pins here, and the stopper is going to be what's stopping it from falling through. Going to put my finger behind that stopper, and then I'm going to pop this on top like that. So this is probably going to be the mechanism for tipping, and I have got that the wrong way around. Great start. Right, there we go. So the next thing we want is a 5 long bar, grey. So So we want a 5-hole long bar, and then we want a black pin. Black pin's going to go into the very end, and then we're going to attach that to this pin here of the crank handle, with the pin facing outwards and not into the model, so it's facing right. Then we're going to cover this axle over with a axle connector. We've got an axle connector that's going to pop on there, and see it's got this back and forwards movement, and that's going to be your tipping right there. That's going to be what's going to tip. Next we got the handlebars. These little handlebars, forks, bike forks. It just kind of reminds me of a bike fork. You put, I mean, these wheels are quite thick, but you know, you've got your wheel there and your forks here. This would be where your handlebars would be. Anyway, you got this piece here, and there's 2 of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to prime those with the tan pin with collar, and we're going to go in short ways into the top of the forks, and because it's tan, this one is frictionless, so there's movement, and that's because this is going to be an axle. So we're going to pin that into these 2 holes here, so it's just over this second blue pin here, like that. You see that's got so much freedom of movement in there, and that's what is going to be your axle. So we're going to do the same thing with the other one, and we're going to put that on the other side like that. So that frictionless, which means we got movement. Next we got the L-shape plate there. And in the elbow of the L shape, we've got a 3-axle going through that. We want a 3-axle, which is short grey one. There we go. I'm going to push it in like a little bit, leaving 1/4 of it out. And then to the right of that, to the left of that axle, we're going to put a tan pin long piece and then a short piece, and this is a very short pin, and that's just going to go into that hole there like that. Still frictionless, so it moves. There's some movement there. I don't think this is going to do any movement, but and then we're going to drop this into that beam, and that L shape is going to be level with the front here. Next we want another 5-hole beam, and we're going to drop 2 black pins. So we're going to go a hole, drop, and then we're going to go a hole, drop, like that. And then we're going to put an ET's head on there. I want an ET's head. ET's head, ET's head. Where's it? There it is. Pop it on like that. Then we're going to drop another pin straight through the middle of that. And then we're going to put a 3-axle through the neck of ET's head, like that. And then this is going to be in the top of this L shape here, and it's going to be so that this pin is facing upwards. So pop that in there like that. It doesn't move or anything like that. And then we're just going to close that area off with another L shape. So the L shape's going to go on the other side. There we go, we're dropping Lego. No pin. No pin. This time. Push these axles through so they're kind of in the middle. And then we got the front bumper. So the front bumper is going to be a 7-long or 7-hole beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to be dropping 2 black pins underneath on each side. fasten on, yeah. 1, 2. So there's black pin underneath on each side, and then just next to it on top we're going to put 2 pins, 2 blue pins, and they're going to go short ways in like that, because we're going to drop another one of these beams on top. Give it a bit of a wiggle, 2 pins to line up, and then we're going to drop another 2 black pins, 1 on each side. So 1 and 2, and then that is going to stick. How's that going to stick on there? Oh, I must have skipped something. Ah, yeah, I did. I skipped something. So we're doing the similar sort of thing to what we did to the back and what we have on the front, and that's where these pins are going to sit in. So they're going to be sitting in there, but these holes facing up instead of down. So we want the similar sort of thing. So we want the 5-axle, the periscope, and the holes this time going to face up. Doesn't matter which way they are at the moment, because everything is awesome. And yeah, short. Now we want the holes facing up, because those pins are going to drop into these holes here. Then we're going to need another short bushing. A short bushing would be nice. It's probably the last one, which is why I can't find it. Move these around a little bit. Very tiny little piece. Could be covered over by things as well. Could be stuck in tires. Could be in the bag. In these tire tracks here. Oh, where is it? There it is. It's covered over by a tire. And pop that on top, and then we go put another periscope on top with the hole facing up like that, and now we can drop the bumper into there, and we'd usually put some stickers across there, but we're not going to do that because this is part of the James Yorke challenge. This is James's Lego. Next is 2 coat hangers. So they look like coat hangers. You can see why. See that? Yeah. And then we go drive 2 pins with pin and axle on it. So it's quarter pin, 3/4 axle, and that's going to drop through the shoulders of the coat hanger like that, and then we're going to drop that on top of another coat hanger. So now we've got a coat hanger bar instead of a coat hanger plate. So I'm going to join both those together. There we go. Now we've got a beam, and that is going to face. Oh, we need a grey axle with a stopper. I need a grey axle. There we go. Grey axle with a stopper is going to go underneath. Okay, it's going to go underneath, and then we're going to put it. So these axles here are going into these axle holes here. We want the top of the coat hanger towards the cab, towards the front. So it's like pointing arrow pointing towards the front. Okay. Then pop that in place, and then we go drop a couple of pins into a 7 beam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 blue pins, and they're going to go in long ways underneath, like that. I don't think it really matters which way they go, because you're going to have half pin, half pin. Then we want another grey axle with a stopper, and it's going to go into the middle hole This time it's going to go underneath. So you go put your finger underneath it, then pinch it at the top there, and it's going to go straight across. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's supposed to go into the head, like I said. It's supposed to go into the head of the coat hanger. Dear oh dear. There we go. Right, and then these are going to go across those pins there. So now you've got this kind of step, this height in the axles kind of stepping up. Then we want 2 H shapes. These are going to be your steering. So we want 2 H shapes. We got one here, and then we go drive a frictionless light grey pin in the top. That usually is your go-to frictionless pin, is the grey pin. You got another H shape, so we want another grey pin. Drop it in the top, in between, and then we're going to pop these with the pin. So you got the 3 pins on the top. Going to pop one of those sides in there, and again 3 pins on top, and drop it in there. So they're going to be coming in from underneath, they're not dropping on top. And then these are gonna, I think these are going to, they could fold forwards or they could fold back. I'm thinking they're folding forward, because then these are going to be the axle holes here. That's what I'm thinking. No, they're going back. Okay, they're going back. And then we got a 5-hole beam going straight across on the middle pins. So the ones that we actually dropped in there. So we got one a 5. That's not a 5. That's a 5. And it's the middle pins. So get those together. And yeah, you do still get some steering there. So I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And we're going to put a crank handle in the middle hole on that beam and on this axle here. So we need another crank handle. There it is. And the pin is going to go into that center hole. So pop that on the axle and then push, and then just gently push them down. Now you've got this hand of God steering going on. And then we got a 7 long beam is going to be going straight from this pin, this axle, and this axle. I'm going to drop it. Oh, there's something wrong here. Has a 7 long, and oh, it does overhang. It does overhang. It's okay. I was going to say, it's slightly overhanging by 1. But it does overhang. I was looking at the wrong place. Right, and then we go put the tan gear. The first tan gear is going to go on this first axle here. And that is your hand of God steering. And this is going to also be your hand of God steering. So we're going to put the moon gear on the second axle. And kind of try and find where it's going to drop. And then just slowly rotate it until those teeth drop in between. Now we've got control on this one. And then we're going to put an extension bar or a connector on top. I want to get that lined up nicely. I don't think that's going to line up nicely. It's kind of a crooked angle. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because of the teeth. I'm going to pick that up again, and then slowly rotate again, drop, see if I can get that axle straight. It's going to be slightly off. Interesting. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Now then, next we got these blue, these orange bars going straight across here. It's going to be forming the wheel arch. We're using one hole, one axle beam. We're going to drive blue pin long ways in into the hole, and then we got the blue pin with axle. We're going to drop that into the axle hole so that we got these two pins on top, and these are going to go underneath on this 9 bar here. We're going to go one hole in, and then we're just going to drop those two in there like that. Next we got 2 black pins that are going to go right next to these blue pins, so we've got 2 that we're dropping it in on the top like that. Then we got a space, and then we're dropping a short pin with a stud on it. We have the stud on the top, and we want another short pin with a stud next to it, and we're doing 2 of those, so let's do those first. So we want the short one, and we want that, and then we want the blue pin like that, and that's going to go 1 pin in. Then we got 2 black pins, 1, 2, and then the studs. So we've got a hole and then stud, and where's the other stud? It is like that, and then we're just going to pop that across like that, and you're going to have the piece with the 2 long bar at the back of the cab. That's pushing the pin through. That's interesting. Right, and then like that. And the next is a little bit of plating, and we're going to use, I think we're doing both of them. Yeah, we're doing both of them. So blue pin with axle into the axle hole, and we want the other one. Where's the other one? There it is. And again, blue pin with axle into the axle hole. There will be some stickers that go on there. We're not doing that because it's James's Lego. And next, we're going to attach the panels to these black pins here. You want the widest part of the panel at the back of the cab, like that. So it's going to be sloping in. Kind of gives a little bit of definition to the cab. We got 7 long bar, so we got this 7 long bar here, and in the middle of the bar or middle hole, we're driving this periscope, smooth periscope, into there, and the hole's going to face up, and we're going to surround that with pins. So we've got black pin on the left and the right hand side of it, and then we've got a hole, and then we got a pin, so it's pin right at the very end, and then on the opposite side in between those two you got a pin there as well. Turn it around, and we've got a blue pin going long ways in next to that black pin there. Next we're going to put L shape. Let's see if we get this the right way around. So we've got L shape going on these 2 black this black and blue pin here. So L shape like that, and then an L shape on these 2 black pins here. it's going to start to form the bed of the back of the truck, I think. Or it's going to be the cab. I think actually it's going to be the cab. Then we're going to put another 7 bar on top of that. Because this is the hand of God hold, I think. And then we got 2 black pins on the far ends. 1, 2. And then we go do another 7 long bar. Yep. And then we got smooth periscope on each side. And the holes are going to be going across the beam instead of up. So we want another one of those. There we go. And then next to it, we're going to have 2 black pins. So we're keeping this middle hole free, like that. And we're going to put a 3-hole beam straight across those 2 pins there, making this black line here. And then we're going to drop this into these 2 blue pins on the back end, like that. And that, you see your cab coming now. 5 long beam, and we're going to drop, we're going to do a whole space, and then we're going to drop a pin, then we're going to do a space, then we're going to drop a pin. So it's like that. Then we're going to pop another one of these beams on top, and then on each side we got the smooth periscope, and the holes are going to be running the length of the beam. I want another one of this periscope. There it is. So the running's horizontal. Underneath we got this little bit of framework going on. Another smooth periscope. Lots of these. Blue pin, short end in first, and then another smooth periscope. And so you got a pin up, you got a pin down, and then you got the next one is going to be a pin up again, like that. And that is going to go underneath. It's going to go looks like it's going to go into those 2 holes there. Now there's a lot of movement in this, so it can be tricky to get. There we go. And then we got smooth periscope again, and we got black pin this time, and then we got smooth periscope again. Where is there? Where it is? And again, pins are going to be opposite each other, and this time it's going to be in here and there, like that. So you got these 2 pins in the middle here, and they're kind of on a hinge thing, which is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Now then, where's this going to go? It's going to go on the front. Okay, so I'm going to pin into these here. How's that going to work with right. We have a black 5-hole bar. Line those up. This is probably just to get the angle of the slope of the cab, like that, so you can get that little tilt. Or maybe maybe it's going to go like that. I don't know. What we got? What we got next? I'm seeing. Yep. Oh, we got to turn it upside down. We're going to put some grey 3-hole bars on the ends of these blue pins here. So 1 and 2, like that. And then we got axle pins grey pins, short end in first, and they're going to go into these holes here closest to the front of the vehicle. So need another one. Yep. And they're frictionless, so they're going to be your front axle. Turn it over, and we're going to do some lights. Yeah, this is going to tilt in a little, not much. So we're going to do some lights next. We've got 1x2 plate with trans clear, and then a 1x1 plate orange. Going to join those together with 1x2 orange on top. So you got this nice little step down effect. We're going to put a cheese wedge on top of that clear stud like that. And then on top of this, on top of the 2 orange studs, we're going to put 1x2 orange tile, and that's going to finish that off. So we got to do 2 of those. So there's my thing. We need the plates, and we need the 1x1 plate. Then we need the cheese wedge, and oops, and the tile. There it is. And then they're just going to go on these studs here, like that. Perfect. And there's your headlights. Nice. Next part is this joining frame on the front windscreen. We're going to be doing like a half crank handle plate. So it's like a crank handle plate, but without the pin. And we're going to have a blue pin with axle going into that axle holder, like that. And then we got a 7 long axle, so longish grey axle in the other axle hole there. And then I'm going to stand that on there because we're going to be dropping this 1 hole 2 axle hole plate on top of that. And that's going to be like that. So that is the first part of the bar, and that's going to go. So the axle part is going to go through the bottom tubes here, like that. And this is going to meet up with this tube here, like that. And there we have it. And it's kind of giving you that black rim like you do on a windscreen. So you just go do another one of those plates, but without the axle this time. And we want the pin with the axle like that, and we want the black plate. The black plate is going to fit to this axle before we put this on because there's nothing holding it on. So we're going to pop that on first, like that. Then we're going to pop this over the top. So get the pin into the hole first. Now these periscopes, they kind of move, so I'm going to do it with the thing pointing up first and then drop it down, meet up with the axle, and we should be home. There we go. Got our frame. Very cool, very simple. Oh, next we got another periscope in the back there, and this is going to be for our working light. So we want a pin, yeah, blue short pin with a stud on the end. A blue short pin with a stud. Is it? Yeah. There it is. And that's going to go in top. And then we got the orange beacon that goes in the top as well. Where's the orange beacon? It's hiding disguised as a beacon. Oops. Maybe I knocked it off. Maybe that won't. Well, look for that in a bit. And yeah, we got the Hand of God steering to finish off as well. So we got what looks like a 3-axle going in here. 3-axle, and then a moon gear on top. There we go. Got moon gear. Very subtle gear. That's gonna operate your steering, which is cool. Right, so now we got the bed of the truck. So we got an 11 long beam. Taking it. This is going to be these guys. We're going to be dropping a pin, and then we're going to drop another pin, and then we're going to do a hole or a space, a pin, and then on from the other side here we got a blue pin, and it's going to go in long ways, so it's half and half. Then we got a black pin next to it, then we got a space, then we got another black pin. So you should have something like that with 3 holes between the pins. Next we're going to put these 2-hole axle connectors on the 2 pins on each side. Like that. So we've got this nice smooth edge on either side. And we've got a 5-hole bar going straight across to bridge that. And then we got the pins with grey pins with 1/4 axle, and they're going to go into these axle holes here. That's how I lost the beacon. There we go, like that. And then we're going to have another 11 beam go straight across that, so it's going to be the bed. And then we got this big plate here that's going to go across there, like that. So you got the base of the bed of the truck. Next, we're going to do the same thing again for the other side. So we got this time we got the blue pin, and it's going to go all the way through because it's going to be long ways first. Then we got black pin, then we got space, then we got a black pin, then we'll have 3 holes, then we'll have black pin, space, black pin. So you got these 3 holes there. And again, 2-hole axle connector on each side. 1, 2, and again 2. Let's get the 5 beam first, the 5-hole beam in there. Then we got the 2 pins with 1/4 axle in there and in there, and then we got the beam going straight across with the beam. Maybe not, maybe not. No, it's not a beam. It's the L shapes. Oh, this is probably because of the tipping mechanism, huh? 7 long beam in 1. There we go. And then an L shape, small L shape in there like that, with the little bobbly bit at the bottom, because that's what's going to catch this pin here. And then we're going to put 2 black pins at the end of each bar. So there's 1 there and 1 there like that. So we've got the dark grey, 2 black, and then we're going to pop this onto the other side. Now there's going to be a little bit of movement between these 2 pieces here, so do your best. Line, got 4 pins to line up as well, So it's not going to be an easy one, this. I got 3. There we go. So you got that little bobbly bit there. That's going to attach to the arm here. So underneath we have, with the blue pins on the left hand side, underneath we have, oh, do you know what? I got the bed of the truck upside down. Now you got to relocate these pins. Alright, so let's put these pins back. Never mind. You gotta have this channel underneath because it wouldn't be smooth on the top of the bed of the truck, would it? No. Two smooth periscopes going to go into these holes here, and the holes are going to be running across and not down the length. They're going to cross the width like that, and then flip it over, and we're going to put a 7 bar across the front like that. And then we're going to attach it. So we're going to use a 4-axle with stopper. 4-axle with stopper. There it is. And it's going to go through these holes here. And then we're going to cap that off with a large red bushing. So it's just going to go through there like that, and then we're going to put that, hold that together with our thumb, put the bushing on the axle, and then we have it. And then we just are going to attach this to this there, and we have a tipping truck. How cool. And it actually goes back so that it locks it. So you got halfway up, it doesn't lock it, but you push it a little bit more, it locks it in place. That's fantastic. Next we got the wheels, and then we got our tools. Don't forget your tools. So let's do the wheels. We got double-sided wheels, we got the racing, and then we got the industrial. Because we are a roadwork truck, we're using the racing wheels. No, we're not. We're using the industrial wheels, of course. Although racing wheels on a builder's truck would be kind of cool, I think. That's that there. And then we just go pin those to these axles, push them through, because these are the fairly wide-ish wheels, rims. And that is the roadwork truck. Tools. I'm going to put them in the holes there, because if you put them in there, you're going to lose them, aren't you? Yeah, I'm going to put them in here. In fact, they actually sit in the studs quite well. In the pins quite well. Where's my broom? There it is. So that fits in those pins really well. And that is the truck. We ain't done yet. We got the digger. Bag 2. 13 long beam. Blue pin with axle, and that's going to go in half. So it's going to go long ways. And then we got at the front, we got 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. Drop a pin. Again, long ways. And then we got the short L shape or small L shape, we're going to drop another blue pin, long ways again, in just after the elbow. And then we've got the 40th anniversary bar, like that. And then we got a 7 long axle. It's just going to go straight through this axle hole here. And something like that. And that's going to connect to this beam here. Like that. There we go, put a pin. We got a L shape to cap that off, sorry. So pop that in the axle hole. Line that pin up. Pop that in there, and then we're going to put a black pin the other side like that. And we got the 1 hole axle beam, and we're going to put a blue pin with axle. We've got 2 of those, so we're going to do that like that. And then these are going to go onto these blue pins here, with the pin and axle facing outwards, not into the middle of the build, but outwards like that. Here we got the knuckle. Where's the knuckle? There it is. And go prime that with the red 2 long axle. We're going to go into the bottom, and then we're going to go into the first hole there of the bar, and then push the axle through like that. We got this tipping motion at the moment, and then we're going to put a frictionless pin, grey, is going to go into that hole of the knuckle like that, and then we're going to close with 2 beams along the side here, from pin to blue pin to blue pin, with the axle as well. So another one of those. This time it's black pin to blue pin, and that will keep those pieces in an upright position. And on the ends of this axle here, we got another 1 hole axle beam, and again the beams are going to be facing up. We got another one of those. There it is, like that. And then we're going to put 2 grey frictionless pins each side. There's going to be your wheels, because this is going to be your trailer for your digger. Where's my other pen? There it is. Not that. And then we've got to pin some wheels. So we got these tiny little wheels here. It's tires. And it's going to be these wheels here. They're both the same on each side. And these are pinwheels. Not pinwheels like your windmill pinwheels, but pinwheels with, yeah, basically got the pinhole in there for that and that. And that is your towing device for your truck. It's going to hook into the other knuckle there, so the 2 knuckles clasp together. So not a very good towing mechanism, to be honest with you, especially with the bed of that truck. Oh dear. Come on. There you go. It does work though. It does work, and it gives it quite a little bit of movement. So yeah, it's not bad, but it's not easy, you know. Next is the digger itself. So we got the 3-hole 2-axle plates, and we've got the grey pin with quarter axle. It's going to go through one side, and then we're going to put another bar on that. So we're making a bar instead of a plate, and then we're going to put a H shape. The pin is going to go through the middle pin on the H shape, like that, and then we got to match this pin here with the 2 plates. And then we got 7 red axle and 2-hole axle connector, like that. Gonna have it in the middle, and then we're going to put this through the inside like that. So this is in line with the H shape, and then we're going to close it off with a L shape, a large grey L shape. There it is. Going to close that off with a large grey L shape. So it's not like a beam this time. And then we got 2 black pins on the end of that L shape, just from that axle, the red axle there. Next we got the brown pin, brown axle with stopper, and that's going to go into the bottom. Whoops, that's what happens. The bottom back hole of that 2-hole axle connector we just put in. Gonna keep my finger on it. Put the big red bushing over the top. Now it's secure in place. We're going to drop a very short screw piece on top of that axle there, like that. So we're going to have a gear here somewhere. And then we're going to put another 3-hole 2-axle plate, and we got a 4-axle going into the top, and then top of that we got a fire hydrant, if I can find it, black fire hydrant. There it is, and the fire hydrant with the base facing up, so you got the axle hole facing up. And then that's going to attach to this red axle here, like that. Next we got the gear, and we got another axle with stopper. This time it's the grey one. It's going to go through the middle hole of the beam. I'm going to hold it in place because we're going to slide this gear on top. And that gear is going to line up with the teeth are going to line up with the screw here, and then we're going to push that axle all the way through to the stopper, and you should see this twist, but it won't twist from there. It will twist from this screw here. So it's going to be quite a large movement. I think this is going to be your bucket. Next is L shape, going to go across the top. So we've got an L shape going across the top there. Other way, like that. It's bridging over the cross top there, and then we're going to close that off here with a crank handle onto the top of that axle there, and that's probably your winding handle. No, this is going to be, yeah, this is going to be the arm for the bucket. Alright, so next we've got another knuckle, so we need another knuckle. There we go. I go prime it with red axle. It's going to go into the top hole this time. So if you think about this piece with the hole here as the base, this would be the top, and that's going to go over the top of this axle here with a screw, and also this L shape here, and then you can push the axle through the L shape. So now it's holding it in place. Now we've got this like bridge that's protecting the gear. Next we got we're closing this off. So we got the black periscope on the other side. Not periscope, fire hydrant. There's fire hydrant. There it is. Black fire hydrant with the axle hole facing up. And then we're going to close it off with another one of these plates with 3-hole 2 axle plates over the top like that. Don't push that gear out. And then 2-hole axle connectors. We're going to put 2 pins, 1 in each hole, and we want 2 of these, so I'll do that. 1 in each hole like that, and then we're going to attach that to the red axle with the pins facing backwards, so facing towards the back, because I think that's what that's going to be. It's going to be the back. And then we got L shape. We're going to make the L shape beam. What we're going to do is we're going to put a pin with an axle. It's going to go into the elbow of the L plate. Drive that through like that, and then we're going to put the other L plate on top. Like that. So now we've got an L beam. And then we're going to put another blue pin with axle in the top of the L shape there. So now we've got it held together pretty well. And just to make it more secure, we're going to put a black pin in each of these holes here. Like that. Next we're going to put, this is going to be a 3/4 axle, 1/4 pin, and that's going to go into this only axle hole left here, and it's going to come in from behind like that, so that it's going to be a pin same side as this blue pin here, and we're going to put a 1-hole 1 axle connector on the end there. And in that axle hole we are putting a axle with a ball joint, or the ball socket, ball joint on top. Now this is probably going to be what's going to be connecting to lift up the bucket, I think. Or this could be the chair, and this could be a little control handle. I don't know. So we got a 3-hole beam going on those pins there. Kind of makes that chair a little bit wider. I'm sure this is a chair. I think it's a chair. And that's going to connect to these 2 holes here, but from the other side, like that. I don't know. It might not be. It might not be. We're going to close that off with a T-bar. So it's going to be on these 2 pins here and this blue pin here. So we've got T-bar going across there. We've got 3 to line up. There we go, that's 2. And 3. There it should be in there. It's quite a solid little build there. Then we got axle connector, red axle, and a very small grey gear. It's going to go on top of that, and that's going to, I don't know, that's probably going to be what's going to control the lift, I think, because it's going to go onto this axle here with a stopper. Put your finger behind there and then just twist it. Now you've got quite a bit of movement, and yeah, that's what's going to control that. So the next thing is 2 4-long axles in these axle holes here. So we've got 1, 2, like that. Then we're going to put a 1-hole 2 axle hole plate over the top. And not pushing it all the way down. Okay, fair enough. It's going to be the top. And then we have, instead of a T-bar, we've got a 3-hole bar. Is going to go in there with 2 pins inside, and it's going to be on from middle and one side, and then that's just going to pin to like that. Kind of gives you the same beam there. Next we got the 5 long orange beam. Going to take the blue pin and we're going to go short end in first in the front hole, and then next to that, behind it, we're putting a black pin, and then we're going to connect the 7 long beam to those 2 pins like that. Then this is going to connect to this pin here of the H shape, and then we've got a 5 long grey beam is going to go on the other side. I'm quite sure why they did why they did a grey one. I don't know. You would have thought that maybe it would be another orange one. So next to this hinge here, we're going to be putting the tan pin with stud. And then we've got an arm going from the stud to the lifter arm there. There it is. There's a plate. It's going to go from there to we've got to lift it up, I think. Is that too? Yeah, that might be all right. So into there, and now we should have. Oops, that just totally dropped. So we've got lifting control, and then if you go too far, it just it just goes limp. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing. Now then, what we're going to do to stop it from going like that? 3 axle grey with an axle connector, and that is going to go through the 3rd hole, and then it's going to be held in place by a crank handle with a pin like that, and we got a black pin at the end here as well, like that. And this is the bucket piece. Okay, so we've got the bucket. So we want periscope connector with the holes on the same side. We're dropping 2 black pins into those holes like that, and then we got this arm connector here that's got the hinged socket on it, and that is going to be, so you got the hinged pit the same side as the pins here, and then you're going to just pin those to this 7 long beam like that, and then we got a frictionless pin which is a grey pin. It's a grey pin that went on the floor. No, there it is. It rolled off into the distance. It's going to go into the top end there, and then this hinged finger piece is going to attach to the bucket like that. And these hinges are really good for holding very strong angles. Seen them in mixel builds an awful lot. So this black pin here is going to go to the 3rd hole, so it's going to go hole, it's going to skip a hole, and it's going to drop in there like that. Now then, we got a black bar going from pin to pin here, so we'll do that like that. Okay. Then we got these panels upside down. We got the L shape on the top. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a pin, taking sleeve, this smooth sleeve, and then we're going to put another pin in the other side like that, and then we're going to join these panels together with these holes here like so. So it's like an engine cover type thing. And that is going to go onto these pins here on the back here. These two are going to go into those holes there. And you've got 4 pins to line up, a little bit of a wiggle, and you go like that. This is the tyre tracks, okay. 7 long beam, a H shape. We're going to go a pin in, or a hole in, drop. Then we got a hole, and then we're going to drop there, and all 3 holes are going to be facing up, and then we're going to close that off with 7 hole. That's our base. We're going to put the pins with the axles, not grey, tan, and these are frictionless, so they will have movement. So you'll put those in there. And they're going to be in each hole at the end of each beam there, like that, because they're going to work as axles. We're going to put these gears on those pins, and these are going to be what your tyre track wheels are going to be. Next, we got 2 black pins. We're going to drop a blue pin in the middle, and it's going to go in short ways first. Then we got a black pin on the front, and that all looks like tyre tracks, so it must be over here. Here he is. That's and then I'm going to put the 5 beam over the top of those 3 pins, leaving that blue one to be sticking out. Now, there we go. So we got this as your turntable, and then we're going to join 23 of these pieces together. So this is going to take a little while. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, even 1 left over. So it could be this one here. 3, hook. Oops. Hook. Hook. Very easy to put together. Just a bit time consuming. Yeah, it makes up the piece count by quite a bit. I mean, that's like what, 20? That's 46 pieces just in the tyre tracks. So yeah. There we go. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Told you it was this one. 23. I could just go willy-nilly put these ones together without having to count, so that's all good. Oh, upside down. Upside down. Before you turn me inside out and round. I don't know how many of those diggers that Lego group's done, and it's like, yeah, it's a 3,000 piece count, but the tire tracks make up like 500 500 pieces. Like, oh man. Gonna go stick 250 of these together to make tire tracks. I mean, we're talking about like those big cranes that people have done. Some very, very big cranes. Almost there. Oh, missed. There we go. And there's most of this video is going to be taken up by me building the tire tracks. Right, then we can just attach those to these guys because that's what I think they're going to do. And these might be a bit loose actually. We might have to, yeah, because that's kind of floppy, isn't it? It works. It works. So, I mean, maybe you take another link out just to make it a bit tighter. Would you get away with another link? Yeah, you definitely get away with taking another link out. Definitely. All right. So there's that. And then this just sits on, I think it's on this pin here. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's on this one here. So it goes like that. Yep. And then, so this is the little control handle. That's kind of a nice little bit of detail, right? That is really cool. So how does this? Okay. Ah, right. Okay. Yep. Yep. So you got the control here at the top. It locks it as well because it locks it in place. Then you got, and then you go, and obviously you got your different angles you can use on. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. And of course, it's not going to roll, is it? It's kind of skidding because it's on a desk. Let me just pop that in there. And that actually sits in there quite nicely. We'll tip our truck down. We'll put the bucket. Let's see if we can fold the bucket up like you're supposed to. Kinda. There we go. And there you go, folks. It's actually quite cool. Yeah, it's. Let's get rid of the instructions for a sec. It looks pretty cool. Your 40th anniversary is hidden underneath, which is kind of iconic that they do that. And you know, for what you get for it, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. What, 19 quid, 20 quid? Sorry. Lots of cool pieces, tire tracks. You get some bucket. Well, you get a shut. No, you don't get a bucket. Wow. You get a shovel and you get a brush, which is cool. You got some hand of God steering here as well, which you have to be very careful with your trailer because jackknife it. Great movement in the tipping. Yeah, can tip that. Obviously, you can do the digger as well. You can disconnect the trailer. Yeah, there's a ton of play features in this. This is really actually kind of cool. I do believe that you can make another set out of it, which is like a bigger shovel. So if you had two of these, you could have that kind of going on. You could have a little bit of a scenario going on. But let's try and pick it up without it falling apart. There we go, folks. Pretty cool set. Not bad at all. I think my favourite piece is the truck. I like the truck. I like how that came about. The digger was a little bit tricky in understanding what was going to be doing and stuff. In fact, when I was building the trailer, I thought I was doing the digger first. But I like the truck. The truck is really cool. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed the video and you like the truck, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the truck but you like the digger, give it a thumbs down. And also let us know in the comments whether you like the truck or the digger. And also hit the like and subscribe. Hit the subscribe because it's absolutely free and it lets you know when the next video is coming out, which will be tomorrow. Thank you so much, folks. I'm Sean from BRIT'N Bricks. Peace.